Rodeo Drive. Um, it practically screams luxury. Right. Designer names, high-end boutiques. And I guess you could say a certain expectation.
Yeah, a certain air about it for sure.
Exactly. But today we're going beyond that glitz and glamour.
Peeling back the facade.
Yeah. To explore a story about assumptions, respect, and a lesson learned in the most unexpected way.
Just intriguing.
It is. We've got some fascinating source material for this deep dive.
Oh yeah, lay it on me.
First-hand accounts, news articles, even a bit of social media buzz,
Good stuff.
all centered around one incident at a Rodeo Drive boutique.
Okay, I'm hooked already. What kind of incident are we talking about?
But you see, it really exposes those subtle power dynamics that we often see in these exclusive settings, particularly in like the world of luxury retail.
It's fascinating, isn't it? That whole world, the way it operates.
It is. It makes you think, who gets to decide who belongs? Who deserves to be treated with respect?
Right? Like, are those things earned or are they just assumed based on appearances?
Exactly. And how much do our own assumptions shape those judgments?
More than we'd like to admit, I'm sure.
Probably. So this story, it all starts with Helena, the manager of this high-end boutique.
Okay. Setting the scene.
From what I've read, she's incredibly meticulous.
Detail-oriented.
Got it. Focused on protecting the brand, as they say.
Yeah.
And very, very image conscious.
That makes sense. I mean, these brands aren't just selling clothes or accessories, right? They're selling a whole lifestyle and aspiration.
Absolutely. Creating a sense of exclusivity is key to their strategy.
But it can also create a breeding ground for some, unconscious biases.
Absolutely. And those biases come into play big time when a seemingly ordinary shopper walks through the door.
Ordinary. How so?
The sources describe her as tall poised, wearing understated clothing.
Yeah.
Not someone who screens wealth at first glance.
Interesting. So not dripping in diamonds and designer labels?
Not at all. But there's this quiet intensity about her. Something that makes Helena uneasy.
I'm sensing some judgment brewing already.
Oh yeah, Helena's radar is definitely going off.
It's almost like the shopper possesses this quiet confidence. You know, the kind that comes from not needing to prove anything.
That's a great point.
It can be incredibly unsettling to someone like Helena, who's so used to assessing worth based on outward appearances.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
And this encounter, it seems pretty insignificant at first.
Okay. But I have a feeling that's about to change.
Oh, it does. It does. Helena, based on her initial judgment, doesn't give the shopper much attention.
Uh-oh.
But this is where the story takes a fascinating turn. You see rumors start to spread amongst the staff and customers.
Oh, kind of rumors.
That this ordinary shopper was none other than Melania Trump.
Oh, wow. So this seemingly minor encounter is about to blow up into something much bigger.
Exactly. Suddenly, we're not just talking about one shopper and one manager. We're dealing with perceptions of power, celebrity, and how quickly those dynamics can shift.
Stakes just got a whole lot higher. And this is where the story really shifts. From a simple misunderstanding to almost like a calculated display of power.
Yeah. What happened?
Melania, aware of the rumors swirling around her previous visit, decides to return to the boutique.
Oh, she does.
But this time, it's not a low-key shopping trip.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Fill me in.
Picture this Friday afternoon, the boutique's bustling, and suddenly, the doors open.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
Not with a gentle chime, but with this deliberate force.
Okay, an entrance.
Exactly. And in walks Melania.
Alone.
Not this time. With an entourage, security personnel, a publicist, you name it.
Wow, a whole production.
Oh, yeah. And the photographers are waiting outside, flashes popping. The atmosphere in the boutique instantly shifts. Everyone's watching whispers erupt. Heads turn. It's electric.
That's wild. I bet Helena's freaking out.
But here's the thing. She doesn't even acknowledge the previous encounter, doesn't even glance at Helena.
Oh, wow.
Instead, she takes her time browsing through the racks, examining items with a discerning eye.
Interesting. So not just there for the show.
It's brilliant. By not directly addressing the situation, she keeps everyone on edge. The tension in the room must have been palpable.
Oh, I bet. And then what?
Then comes the masterstroke. Melania makes her way over to the jewelry counter, asks to see the stunning diamond necklace.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat here.
And then, here's where it gets really interesting. She turns to Helena and asks for her opinion on the piece.
Whoa. So Helena, who initially dismissed Melania, is now totally at her mercy.
A complete shift in the power dynamic.
I bet Helena was speechless.
Well, according to the accounts, she stammers out something about it being a beautiful piece. But of course, Melania isn't done.
She's got more to say.
This is the moment where she chooses to impart her lesson.
Give me the good stuff.
Melania buys the necklace, turns back to Helena, and delivers this line. It's important, don't you think, to treat everyone with respect, especially when you don't know who they are.
Mic drop.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
And then, just like that, she leaves entourage in tow. Photographers snapping away, Helena is left standing there speechless, holding a check for her staff. A token of appreciation that feels more like a symbol of her own missteps.
Wow, that's a powerful image. So Melania just walks out with that signature poise and grace, having made her point without raising her voice. And Helena's left to grapple with the consequences of her actions.
It really highlights the contrast between the two, doesn't it?
For sure. One's all about outward appearances, while the other understands true power and how to wield it.
I also find it really interesting that Melania didn't resort to any public shaming or social media call-outs.
Good point. It was a very controlled, very deliberate response.
She chose a face-to-face interaction to drive her point home, which makes it even more impactful in a way.
Talk about a reality check.
Right. It must have been incredibly humbling for her.
I mean, here she is known for her impeccable judgment, her ability to navigate this exclusive world, and suddenly she's the one being judged.
And not just judged, but subtly schooled in the art of, power and grace.
It's a lesson in nonverbal communication as much as it is about respect.
For sure. The sources mentioned that she retreats to her office after Melania leaves.
I can only imagine what's going through her head.
Right. You can practically feel the weight of that encounter crashing down on her. She realizes the potential damage to her reputation, to the store's image. The news cycle won't let this go easily.
So what does she do?
This is where true growth begins, It's not enough to just feel embarrassed or ashamed. She's forced to confront those underlying biases that led to her misjudgment. It's a painful process, but a necessary one.
Does she try to defend herself at all?
Not really. To her credit, she doesn't try to sweep it under the rug or make excuses. She gathers her staff, offers a sincere apology, acknowledges her flawed judgment. No justifications, no shifting blame.
That's huge,
Yeah.
especially from someone in her position.
It takes courage to admit you were wrong, especially in a high-pressure environment like Rodeo Drive.
So did this experience actually change her going forward?
It seems so. The sources talk about a noticeable shift in how she interacts with customers, a newfound focus on treating everyone with respect regardless of their outward appearance.
Like a complete 180.
Pretty much. She even starts implementing diversity and inclusion training for her staff, really trying to create a more welcoming environment for everyone.
Wow, that's a testament to the power of, learning and growing from difficult experiences.
Melania's actions, while subtle, served as a powerful catalyst for change. Not just for Helena, but for the entire boutique.
It really makes you think about how we treat others, doesn't it?
Absolutely. This whole Rodeo Drive lesson goes far beyond designer labels and price tags.
It's about recognizing the inherent worth and dignity of every individual.
Exactly. And remembering that we never truly know the full story of the people we encounter.
Assumptions can be dangerous.
So true. Judging someone based on first impressions can lead to so many missed opportunities, for connection and understanding.
I think that's a great takeaway for all of us.
This story really reminds us that every interaction, no matter how fleeting, has the potential to teach us something.
We can all learn from Helena's experience.
And who knows? Maybe the next time you walk into a high-end boutique, or any store for that matter, you'll remember this story and choose kindness over judgment.
You never know who you might be interacting with. That's a great note to end on. Thanks for diving into this with me today.
It was my pleasure.